PlayStation Stars comes to North America, and it's confirmed that you will get priority access to customer service. The FTC is reviewing the Activision Blizzard deal and set a deadline for their decision, and the RTX 4090 is a massive beast of a GPU. All right, guys, before we get into this, my goal is to hit 10K subscribers by the end of the year, and I see a lot of you are new here. If you like daily content, you like these styles of videos, please consider hitting that subscribe button. So PlayStation Stars, it's supposed to be the competition, the rival to Microsoft Rewards, which is a program on Xbox that is an absolutely incredible program. I've used it a ton. I collect points every single time I log onto my Xbox. You get the dailies, you get the weeklies, you get the monthlies just by playing games on your Xbox. And PlayStation saw this and they want to create something to give people incentives for continuously playing games via PlayStation, and they announced PlayStation Stars. Now, last week we saw it officially released in Japan, and with that release, there was a fourth tier for PlayStation Star members that gave people priority access and priority in a queue for customer service. We weren't sure if this was something they were just testing out or if they were going to bring this out to the West when they officially launched PlayStation Stars. And it now has been confirmed that this is a feature that everybody is going to have access to with PlayStation Stars, no matter where you're located. As we have a picture here showing off that PlayStation Stars level 4 priority here says benefits: receive a celebration collectible, chat priority routing, and retain all collectible levels from levels 1, 2, and 3. And to get access to PlayStation Stars, to get access to the level 4 chat priority, you will have had to at least purchase 4 games via the PSN and earned 128 rare trophies, which is just an absolutely absurd addition for a rewards feature because, again, customer service. This is something that is vital for everybody, no matter what platform that you're playing on. If you have issues, getting great customer service is definitely something that is valuable to that platform specifically. And if you have bought PlayStation, if you have a PlayStation 5, you have a PlayStation 4, a PlayStation 3, you should be able to get the same level of customer service as any other customer out there within the PlayStation network, within the PlayStation ecosystem. And that's obviously something that is going to be changing now with the launch of PlayStation Stars. But some of the decisions they're making when they release these products are absolutely mind-blowing. And even if we go back to yesterday's video where I talked about PlayStation and PC and how they're essentially saying, hey, Xbox is right, we got to start releasing more games on PC, and they're following the Xbox strategy. They'll continue to follow the Xbox strategy going forward. I mean, they've done it in multiple ways already this generation, but they also come out and say that they aren't going to be releasing their first party linear cinematic single player style of games onto PC on day one. They'll come about a year later after their release. That type of stuff. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. You put it onto PC right away day one with the release of the PlayStation 5. What the industry has already proven is that you don't need to lock that to your console in order to push that console forward with how well Xbox has been selling with not having console exclusives. So I do truly believe going forward, they're just saying that right now. They're trying to suck as much out of it as they can with their older strategy of the console exclusivity with their big first party games. And I do believe those big first party games are going to be releasing day and date onto PC as well, on PS5, and potentially also into the PlayStation Plus subscription model. All right, let's jump over here to some more information on the Xbox Activision Blizzard deal. Obviously, the main thing that has been taking over the headlines recently has been the pushback from Sony and now potentially from Google when it comes to this deal going through. Sony, we know what their deal is. They don't want this deal to go through because it will directly affect them in the fact that Call of Duty makes them the most money every single year. More people are going to be going over to Xbox Game Pass, and they argue that they want content parity and all that type of stuff when they haven't even been doing it themselves. So you know that is a bunch of bullshit from Sony. Then you have Google, which just shut down Stadia, and they're probably going to be arguing that if you take a look at Xbox Game Pass and you take a look at Xbox Cloud Gaming, it is dominating the market, which makes it harder for things like Google Stadia to compete, which I don't buy for a single second, because if you're a company like Google, you have a ton of money. You have more than enough infrastructure, more than enough resources to be able to invest and make something that does compete with cloud gaming against other platforms out there. They just failed at it. They didn't do a good job. You see this a lot with the video game industry when you have inexperienced companies trying to get into the industry, thinking that they're going to be able to get consumers, get market share, and make a big change, but don't do anything that really is that special. Generally, it doesn't work out. And Google Stadia, in my opinion, pretty much did the same thing. Now, to be fair, I heard Google Stadia was one of the best streaming in terms of the quality you were getting, but there wasn't the games in that service that you wanted to go over and play that you couldn't play anywhere else. And there was nothing really value added to the service. And that's why they failed. And Google's known for scrapping stuff all the time. They have a graveyard of stuff. So for them, this was just another one they threw into the graveyard. Now, when it comes to looking at this deal right now, it is going through the EU. It's in the second stage with the CMA, which is the UK Market Authority, and the FTC is looking at it. And the FTC has now put a date by late November to make a decision on this deal. Now, it says here that according to Dealer Reporter via Seeking Alpha, it claims that the US regulatory's inquiry is still at the staff level, but that is expected to progress through the Bureau of Competition and onto the commissioners over the coming weeks. And when it comes to the FTC, it does seem like they do have a little bit of concern with this deal, but I don't think that is going to stop the deal. We have also had Michael Patcher come on to Yahoo Finance and say that he believes the deal is going to go through. Although there are concerns, there's nothing there significant that is going to stop the deal. But there was a report that came out in April that the FTC's investigation into the deal was likely to focus on the consumer data that both companies hold, as well as potential impact on the labor market. They're also going to be looking at the potential impact on workers who have accused Activision of harassment and discrimination, as well as its potential impact on the competitive metaverse. And I mean, this one, I think it's a pretty straightforward answer when it comes to looking at the impact on workers in terms of harassment and discrimination. I mean, yes, Activision Blizzard, we know what happened there. It was an absolutely terrible situation, but they're coming over to a company that sure has had its problems in the past, but as of right now, from everything that we hear, it's one of the best companies to work for. So if you're an employee who was at Activision Blizzard, you're probably very happy to be going over and be working for Microsoft. So late November, that's the timeline you got to be looking out for the FTC's decision on whether they are going to approve the deal of Xbox acquiring Activision Blizzard. Finally, here I want to talk about the NVIDIA RTX 4090. As you know, this is the next most powerful flagship GPU coming out from NVIDIA, and boy, is it a massive graphics card. We got some pictures coming out now from people who have had their hands on the graphics card itself, and they are doing comparisons to the Xbox Series S, the Xbox Series X, and the PlayStation 5, and the thing itself is actually bigger than the Xbox Series S. Now, here is a picture of it beside the Xbox Series S. It's longer, it's thicker, all of those types of things. It is a massive beast of hardware. Yes, of course, it is more powerful than the Xbox Series S, but it's obviously way more expensive as well. And the Xbox Series S, when you look at this comparison, a graphics card, which you need all the other components of a PC to actually be able to play games and actually utilize this thing, comparing it to a console for a much cheaper price that can do 1080p, 60 frames per second, and give you access to just a huge catalog of games. It's actually pretty crazy the ingenuity that Xbox had this generation with building the Xbox Series S and the Xbox Series X. And we take a look here, comparing it to the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. And again, it's taller than the Xbox Series X. Obviously, it's not as big overall. The Xbox Series X, when you see stuff like this come out where you're getting a graphics card that is just one component of a PC, comparing it to the most powerful console on the market right now, it really shows the engineering ingenuity of Xbox. And then you look at it compared to the PlayStation 5, which in my opinion is a very ugly, big console that compared to the Xbox Series X is a far worse design. And in my opinion, still to today, built far worse than the Xbox Series X. I made a video way back comparing the two builds, the Series X and the PlayStation 5, when they did both of the teardowns. And I think it was pretty obvious for common sense that the Xbox Series X was a better built console. It was more powerful in a smaller box. Some of the stuff that they showed off with like having the dual boards connected back to back, that was a great design for the console, the cooling with the air shooting up, all that type of stuff. Then you had the PS5, which, yeah, you could say it has a cool look, a different, unique look. I don't personally like it. Some people may do, but it has that stand that you have to move if you want to put it vertically or horizontally. They've already iterated on it 3 times, reducing the heatsink, which was something that people were marveling at, like it was this great piece of engineering, where at the end of the day, we know it was just what they had to do to be able to cool this thing in the box design that they had chosen. We see them already reduce the heatsink and many other factors to increase their profit margin on each unit sold. It's pretty clear now, I'd say 2 years down the line, that the Xbox Series X is by far the better built console than the PlayStation 5, and they out-engineered PlayStation this generation when it comes to the release of both of these units. So that's it for me, guys. Let me know your thoughts on all of this stuff, the PlayStation stars, the RTX 490, the size of it, and the FTC reviewing the Activision Blizzard deal. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you're new here, you liked what you saw, consider hitting that subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll catch you in the next video.
Bye.